Students, today I'm going to discuss some, we can say, finishing, we can say treatments. In that finishing treatment, uh, the softening treatment is a very important treatment. Actually, what happens whenever we give a pre-treatment to any type of fabric, maybe we can say natural fibers or maybe synthetic fibers or blend of natural and synthetic fibers. So before we can say giving the we can say dyeing or we can say finishing treatment, we have to give the pre-treatment. And now what happened? If it is a natural fiber, then what happened? We have to give the desizing, scouring, and uh, bleaching treatment. So in desizing, in scouring, what happened? Desizing, we remove all type of we can say size material, and after removing the size material, then that fiber has natural oil fat wax, and which are removed by the scouring treatment by giving NaOH alkali boiling treatment. Then the next treatment is bleaching treatment. In bleaching treatment, we use either hydrogen peroxide or we use some other bleaching agent, maybe hypochlorite, or you can say maybe you can say sulfur dioxide. Most of the bleaching treatments are alkaline in the nature. So what I'm saying, and after the bleaching, one more thing is that some fabrics are also mercerized, which is a highly alkaline treatment. So what happened? All these treatments which are given in alkali or you can say in alkaline pH removes all type of oil fat that may be natural or may be added from the fabric. And after that, what happened when these alkaline treatments, you can say remove all type of oil and fats, the fabric become very harsh. Beside that, what happened when we give the dyeing treatment, or you can say when we do the dyeing of the fabric, that dyeing may be wet dyeing, maybe sulfur dyeing, maybe you can say reactive dyeing, maybe direct dyeing. All these dyings are done in alkaline pH. And when we give the high alkaline, you can say treatment to the fabric, in case of wet dye, generally wet dyeing is done at 11 to 12 pH. Sulfur dyeing is again done at 10 to 11 pH. So what happened? In reactive dye, what happened when we give the fixation treatment? We have to use the sodium carbonate. So what happened? This sodium carbonate treatment, sodium hydroxide treatment, it makes the fabric very harsh. So after you can say pre-treatment and dyeing, the fabric become very harsh and it cannot be used directly in apparel as apparel material, or in making a dress material. So what happened when we make the fabric in the you can say garment form? Then there is some certain requirement. The first and very important requirement is that the fabric must be very soft. Otherwise, what happens if fabric is not soft? It will have a very high friction with the skin of the. You can say, actually, generally, what happens? We have two type of fabric. We have the undergarments and we have the outer wear. Outer wear is not in the direct contact of the skin, but we can say undergarments are in the direct contact of the our skin. So what happens whenever we can say make a fabric, and if fabric is in the direct contact of our skin, then what happens? We have the high friction between the our skin and fabric. So first is the we can say high friction, and due to that high friction, fabric will not give the pleasing effect. Second is that what happen when we have the high friction, then fabric also start to stick with our body. So when we want to change our fabric from our body, then a lot of complication comes. Sometimes what happen when we are removing our garments, what happen? The garments are not easily come out from the our body because of this is a strong van der Waals force of protection and other forces, and due to poor softening effect, fabric don't easily slip from our body, and it gives the you are very very can say uh, 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 very uncomfortable can say condition we can say create. So what happened? We have to make the fabric very soft, and for making the fabric very soft, what we have to do? We have to give the chemical softening treatment. We have different type of softeners which are right now available in the market. We have generally you can say anionic softener, cationic softener, non-ionic softener, reactive softener, polythene emulsion, silicone emulsion. Out of these, there are some softeners which are giving the permanent effect on the fabric, and there are some softeners which are giving the temporary effect on the fabric. Those softeners which are not making any type of bond with the fiber, that gives the temporary effect. Temporary effect means after washing the 2 or 3 wash, the softener effect will be, we can say, vanish. Second types of softeners are those softeners which are giving the permanent effect. Now, what happened? Those fabrics which are having the high value and the premium quality fabrics, they are given the permanent softening treatment. And in the permanent softening treatment, mostly we use the cationic softeners, or we use the reactive softeners, or we use the silicone softeners. Why? Because the effect is very permanent, and maybe it may last after you can say 15 or 20 number of washes. So what happened in the softening treatment which we are giving to the fabric to get a permanent effect and to get the very pleasing effect, uh, that treatments are, you can say, given to the at the finishing stage of the fabric by applying these softeners. The general concentration of the softeners is from 20 to 60 GPL. So what happened? This 20 to 60 GPL concentration is adequate concentration for making the fabric soft. Besides that, what happened? There are some chemical, just like I have already mentioned in my first video lecture that we have to give the anti-creasing treatment to the fabric by using the some resin, just like DMU, DMU, DMDHU. These resin treatments make the fabric very harsh and also reduces the tearing and tensile strength of the fabric. If we are giving some softening treatment, then what happens? These losses of the fabric strength is reduced, I can say, to the extent of 40-50% or up to the 70-80%. So what happens? The losses in the fabric physical properties is, you can say, counterbalanced by using the softening treatment. So these are softening treatments, very important treatment to make the fabric which having the pleasing feel or appeal to our eyes and to our body. Now, what happened? Most of the softeners are, we can say, this anionic, cationic, non-ionic softeners. They are made by the higher fatty acids and higher fatty alcohols. Besides that, we have the reactive softeners, which is also made by the higher fatty acids. They are amido compounds, and they make a bond with the fiber. And this wax emulsion is a polythene emulsion, which is again is a hydrophobic material, which is also applied to the fabric to get the hydrophobic effect as well as softening effect. And then the last, option or choice is the silicone softener. And right now we have the best category of the softener, which is silicone, which are widely used for making the fabric soft for both type of the fabric, that is mean to say natural fabric and synthetic fabrics. In both type of fabrics, these finishing chemicals are these silicone softeners are applied. In the case of cotton, these silicone softeners make a bond and they have the permanent effect. And in the case of synthetic fibers, they don't make a bond; they just only applied on the fabric, and they give some softening effect to the synthetic fibers, and also reduces the inter-fiber, you can say, friction, and also reduces the, you can say, fiber to fiber friction, and reduces the static charge on the fabric. Silicone softeners are, if you talk about the silicone softeners, these softeners are applied by the pad. All the softeners are generally applied by padding, drying, and curing treatment. Now, what happened? The silicone softeners is a polysiloxane compounds. They are basically two type of polysiloxanes. One is called the dimethyl polysiloxanes, another is called the methyl hydrogen polysiloxanes. Both type of softeners are used as a silicone softener. In dimethyl polysiloxane, what happened? We have the two methyl groups, you can say, attached with the silicon atom, and in the in the methyl hydrogen polysiloxanes, one methyl and one hydrogen groups are attached with the silicon atoms, and we have the polymer, and that has a certain degree of polymerization and molecular weight. Depending on the you can say physical properties of the silicon softener, we have got the three type of silicon softener. One is the macro softener, and then micro silicon softener, and the nano silicon softener. Nano is a very new chemical which are generally have the very good penetration effect and very long lasting effect on the fabric, and it gives their effect at very low concentration of the softener. Now, what happened? There are some chemical modification of silicon softener. This is the name which I have given, this dimethyl polysiloxane and methyl hydrogen polysiloxane. Both are a very general type of you can say softener. If we introduce some side chain groups, just like methyl groups, amino groups, or we can say carboxylic group or epoxy groups, then what happens? We get some very special type of effect on the fabric. The aminosilicones give the very hydrophilic effect on the fabric. This ethylene diamino groups, which are generally introduced in the you can say silicon backbone or carboxylic group which are added as a side chain in the silicon softeners. They give the you can say very anti-stain property and gives a very pleasing effect. As the number of amino groups increases in the silicon softener, it gives more and more and hydrophilicity. So if we are having the plain silicon softeners, it will give the softening effect, and if we have the amino groups in the silicon softener, then it has the hydrophilic effect on the synthetic fiber. So if you want to finish a polyester, then the amino silicons are used. They have the tendency to make a bond with the fiber, and also the terminal groups are the polymer of the silicon, that is either trimethyl end groups or dimethyl hydroxy end groups, and they make a bond with the, you can say, wedge groups of the cellulosic material. In this way, they get the permanency on the fiber. So what happened in micro and nano silicon softeners? They have the very reduced particle size, and in nano, you have the nano size of the particle size of the, you can say, softener, and they have the very good penetration effect on the fabric. We apply these softeners by the pad dry cure technique. Padding is done by the padding mangle up to the 70% expression. Then it is dried at temperature of 100 to 110 degrees centigrade, and curing is done at 160 to 170 degrees centigrade for time period of 2 to 5 minutes, depending on your requirement. In this way, we make the fabric very soft, and after softening treatment, we have to give a simple, we can say, washing treatment by using non-ionic detergent to remove all type of residual material from the fabric.